and all the stuff that we was looking at, we came. Can you hold on for a second? We came to the realization that the president enjoys Bath and Beyond magazine clippings. He also enjoys Costco magazine clippings, as many other magazine clippings. The governor and the Attorney General of California, Gavin Newsom, and Robert Bonta are doing their investigation to protect all Californians in this state. Protect your rights and protect your skins. And protect your skins. And with the freedom, with the rights and etc. Why are you having such a big deal about what they are doing? They are doing this to protect you, protect your skin, and protect your freedom, and protect your reproductive freedoms and rights that all Californians and all Americans have. This is the day that justice will prevail, that freedom will prevail, and most importantly, democracy will prevail. This is the day. And we shall be glad for Governor Newsom and Attorney General Bonta for all they are doing and all that they continue to do this investigation. Now, it's no secret that Governor Newsom and Attorney General Bonta and Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis loves the state. I love the state as well. But I can tell you who don't love this state as much as we do. Sheriff of Riverside County, Chad Bianco, because Chad Bianco is an exact copy of Trump. And you know, I was in Pasadena yesterday campaigning. I was in Pasadena yesterday campaigning and at Abilities First yesterday campaigning and while I was talking to the staff and the participants of Abilities First, one of the staff members came up to me and said, Noah, you should organize a speech across the street at this little park over here across the street from us. I said that was a good idea. So I told him, okay, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 7 p.m. going to be my speech. And I said this. If I do that, then I already know that the Republican Party of California will be threatened because they will try everything in their power to shut me up. And all that. And they said, but Noah, you are more powerful than all those Democrat Republicans. And I said, yes, I know, because I have a powerful base. I got powerful base. I got powerful supporters and a powerful platform that I can use to speak out. He said, yes, you do. But I said, unless I am running for governor, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing that I can do to fight Donald Trump. He said, yes, you can. I said, what can I do to fight back against Donald Trump? He said, you can cast a vote for president. I said, yes, I can cast a vote for president, but I just don't want to cast a vote for president. I want to be president. I want to be the next governor. I want to be the next governor. And all and everything. I said, I just don't want to vote for governor. I just don't want to vote for president. I want to be the next governor. I want to be the next president. Because if I am in those office, because if I am the next governor and the next president, then there's so many things that I can do to make sure that this man never get that this man never holds any office or any powerful position in America to make sure this man is not a step towards a third presidency, to make sure this man is not even a step closer to the governorship, to make sure this man is not even a step towards a crossing guard position at a pool, because he will try to take the swimmers' rights away, and he will try to take everybody who comes to a public pool rights away as a crossing guard. And we need to fight back to make sure that this man never is and we need to fight back more and more powerful to make sure this man is never in a powerful position or predicament ever again. You know, President Trump said a word the other day describing President Obama. I like President Obama. I like President and First Lady Michelle Obama. I like them. I like their children. I like their children. And I am proud of Sasha and Maria. From graduating and becoming what they want to become in our Golden State. I like that. I like that when they got out the White House, I like when Sasha and Maria got out the White House, they decided to move to our Golden State, to this golden beacon on the hilltop. But President Trump said this word to describe President Obama, the 44th President of the United States. And the word was sedacious. Let me tell you something. Mr. President. For someone, and the word was sedacious. Let me tell you something, Mr. President. For someone who is in the most powerful office in the world, and in the most powerful position in the world as President of the United States, you have the audacity to call another President of the United States who is more popular than you, and who is much cooler than you, and who got swag and style than you, You have the audacity to call him sedacious? Sedacious? Let me tell you something, Mr. President. How low is let me ask you a question, Mr. President. How low do you have to be as President of the United States to be jealous of a former president, a former first lady, and former first daughters? How old do a person got to be? How old do a person that happens to be president of the United States? How old do a person that happens to be president of the most powerful country on earth to how old do a person got to be that happens to be the president of the most powerful country on earth got to be to call another president of the United States sedacious? Well, you called President Obama sedacious? Well, you call President Obama sedacious? Let me tell you something. You don't know what sedacious means. You have the audacity to call President Obama sedacious. Mr. President, you don't even know what that word means. Sedacious. It means committing it. The definition of sedacious means committing treason against a country. Committing treason against a country. Or somebody who is disobeying a king or a monarchy or a dictator or a regime. Those are the definition of sedacious. Mr. President, you are the most sedacious person I have ever met. Because you not only committed treason against the United States, you not only rejected our authority against your job, but Mr. President, you sent your supporters to the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021 to incite violence on our elected officials, including the House Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. Do you remember that? You remember that, Mr. President? Mr. President, you not only incited violence, you not only sent your goons up to the United States Capitol to try to take Speaker Nancy Pelosi out. But Mr. President, you incited a riot. Mr. President, and you know what? And let me be clear when I say this. And let me be clear when I say this to you, Mr. President. I'm so glad. And let me say this to you, Mr. President. I'm so glad that President Biden didn't put you under arrest and put you in jail when he was in office. Mr. President, you are a coward. You are a hypocrite. And you are a desperate old fool to be president of the United States. Because you must be so self-centered to think we are a country of red states, that we are a country of blue states, that we are a country of purple states, that we are a country of green states. Let me tell you something. We are not a country of red states. We are not a country of a blue state. We are not a country of a purple state or green state. We are, and always will be, the United States of America. Because let me tell you something. Our founding fathers never intended that their country that they founded would be a dictatorship or a monarchy because they got away from that in the 1800s when they founded this country. They wanted a country with principle. They wanted a country with opportunities. And they wanted a country that did not have a dictator, that did not have a monarchy, or that did not have propaganda. But let me tell you something, Mr. President. They wanted a country with principle and with decency and with freedoms and with rights for all people, not just the rich. And they wanted their president to hold the office of president of the United States with dignity, with character. They wanted their president to hold the office of president of the United States with decency, with character, with opportunity, and with a democracy at their fingertips. That's what our founding fathers wanted. They wanted their president to have principle, decency, and a democracy at their fingertips. Now I know y'all going to say, you need to go and sit down somewhere. No, I'm not going anywhere. And I am not sitting down, and I am not backing down from taking down the most powerful man on earth, Donald Trump. In fact, I'm going to create a political headache for Donald Trump. And I am going to create something that Congressman John Lewis once said. And I'm going to create something that Congressman John Lewis once said. He said this: don't worry about what other people say. Congressman John Lewis said this: don't worry about what other people say about your movement, because your Congressman John Lewis said this. He said, don't worry about what other people say about your movement or about your campaign, because they will try to stop you every chance they get. They will tell you to go sit down. They will tell you to go sit down, to back down, to they will tell you don't fight. They will tell you don't fight the impossible fight. They will tell you don't pursue this campaign. Don't pursue this movement. And he said these words: you look into their face and tell them, no, I am not. He said these 3 wise words. He said, you look into that person's face and say, no, I'm not going to sit down. I'm not going to back down. I won't give up the fight. I won't give up this campaign, and I won't give up pursuing this. I will create because he said, because I will create something called good trouble. And he said this: because I'm going to create something called the good trouble to get corrupt people and illegitimate presidents of the United States out of the office. When I'm going to create something called good trouble. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all might think I'm young. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all might say I am too young. I need to go sit my butt down. I need to back down. I don't need to pursue this. But guess what? Congressman John Lewis created good trouble. Congressman John Lewis created the good trouble. And guess what? I'm going to create good trouble. I will create good trouble. And I will fight for you. I will fight for California. I will fight for California and the United States. Both as governor of California and president of the United States. And I will get this illegitimate president of the United States out of office once and for all. Once and for all. Once and for all. Because I'm going to say something that y'all heard before. First Lady, Secretary Hillary Clinton said this when she was First Lady of the United States. And I am going to say this right now. Because women's rights are human rights. And human rights are women's rights once and for all. LGBTQ plus community rights are human rights, and human rights are the LGBTQ plus community's rights. Men's rights are human rights, and human rights are men's rights once and for all. And children's rights are human rights, and human rights are children's rights once and for all. And teachers' rights are human rights, and human rights are teachers' rights once and for all. Once and for all. So I got one question for you. I got only one question, and one question only. For all of you. Are you fired up? Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? I got one question for all of you. Are you fired up? And are you ready to go? Are you fired up? I got one question. I got one question for you. Are you fired up? And are you ready to go? Are you fired up and ready to go? Are you fired up and ready to go? People might try to stop our campaign and our movement. But guess what? They saying, no, we can't. We saying, yes, we can. We can make a difference. We can organize. We can hold events. We can do everything in our power. So while they saying, no, we can't, we are saying, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can make California golden once again. Thank you. And God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. Because I want my state to be the beacon on the hilltop. The golden beacon on the hilltop. And people like Chad Bianco, Larry Elder, and Caitlyn Jenner won't stop my campaign. Won't stop my campaign for governor. They won't stop my campaign for governor. They might. What they are welcome. They are welcomed to try to, but they won't stop my campaign. They are welcome to try to, but they won't stop my campaign. So I got one question. Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Are you fired up and ready to go? Are you fired up and ready to go? While our political opponents while our opponents saying no we can't, we are saying yes we can. Yes we can. We will. So I only got one question for you. Do you want a governor of do you want a governor that is an exact copy of Trump? Or do you want a governor that is an exact copy of President Obama? Because let me tell you something. If your answer is you want a governor like Donald Trump, then let me tell you something. My fellow Americans and my fellow Californians, you are in you are in big trouble. If you want somebody, if you want somebody who is an exact copy of Donald Trump, then vote for Chad Bianco. But if you want somebody who is an exact copy like Obama, and will do the best of his ability to fight and protect you from monsters and from cowards and from hypocrites and from desperate people like Donald Trump, then vote for me. Because I won't just protect you. I won't just I just won't protect you. I just won't stand for you. I just won't fight. I just won't fight for you. But I'm going to fight for every kid, for every single Californian in California, and every single American in the United States. I don't care. I don't care if you Republican. I don't care if you I don't care if you Republican. I don't care if you are a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care if you are a Trump supporter or a Harris supporter or a Henry or or a or my supporter. I am going to fight for you. I am going to fight for you. I'm going to stand for you, and I'm going to protect you as the 60th governor of California. So I say to all of you who've been asking me, Noah, are you going to seek the governorship? So I say to all of you who've been asking me, Noah, do you have plans on seeking the governorship of California? Well, my answer is I will. California is our golden state. California is the beacon on the hilltop. And we are the 50th. We're the 50th largest economy in the world. And someone like Chad Bianco can't be near the most powerful job in California as governor of California. He can't be near it. We are the 50th largest economy in the whole United States. And to have someone like Sheriff Bianco be near that office. It's just impossible. Just impossible. No. We need younger leadership. We need younger leadership. We need younger leadership. And we need a new generation of leadership. So I am sorry to the Harris supporters for Vice President Kamala Harris. So I am sorry to the Harris supporters that wanted Vice President Kamala Harris to seek the Democrat nomination for governor of the state of California in 2026. I'm sorry to you. But in that statement that Vice President Kamala Harris put out, let that statement that Vice President Kamala Harris put out, declaring that she would not run, declaring that she would not run for governor of the state of California, and called for young, new leadership to take over for her long after she retires. So, you want to know something? I supported her. I supported Harris for president. And I was just devastated that she would not become the first woman and the second African American to hold the office of president of the United States. Because I went to sleep on election night because I was exhausted. I was just exhausted from the adrenaline. I was just exhausted from the adrenaline, the lack. I was just exhausted from the lack of sleep that I gotten during the 2024 presidential election last year. I was just exhausted from the lack of sleep. I was just exhausted from the lack of sleep, that I gotten during the 2024 presidential election. But when they finally counted every vote, and when they finally counted every vote and every ballot, and when they finally predicted that, and when they finally predicted that this monster, when they finally predicted that this monster was going to win again, when they finally predicted that this monster was going to win a second term as president, I just cried. I just cried. I just cried on election night. Because on election night, around, because early, early in the morning, on election night, I got up to go to the bathroom. Because on election night, in the middle of the night, around 2, maybe 3, maybe 1, or maybe 4, or maybe 5 a.m., I got up to go to the bathroom. I used the bathroom. And I was walking out the bath, and I was walking out the bathroom to go back to bed. And I was walking out the bathroom to go back to bed. And when I was walking out the bathroom to go back to bed, my father came into the room as I was walking out the bathroom. He came into the room and was getting ready and was getting dressed to go to work. And he looked at me, and he said, Noah, I got some bad news. I said, what? He said, Kamala Harris won't be the... He walked in there in the middle of the night, got dressed for work, and he looked at me, and he said, Noah, in a firm voice. He said, Noah, just like I was in trouble. He said, Noah, I have some bad news. I got some bad news. I said, what? He said, Kamala Harris won't be the 47th president of the United States. I said, who? I said, oh God, not him. He said, Noah, Kamala Harris won't be the 47th president of the United States. I said, well, if it's not Kamala, it can't be Trump. I said, this is what I said to my dad when he told me, this is what I said. I looked back at my dad and said, Dad, I said, thank you for the news about Kamala. But you know what, Father? Father? if it's not Kamala and if it turns out to be Trump, and I said, do you know what, Father? If it's not Kamala and it's, I said, you know what, Father? If it turns out, I said, you know what, Father? That if it's not Kamala, that if it's not Kamala Harris, and it turns out to be Donald Trump, I will still be happy. I will still be happy, and I will still be joyful, and I will still do what, and I will still continue to do what I've been doing, and I will continue to do, and I will continue to fight for the American people. I will continue the fight. I will continue the movement. I will continue the compassion that I have for this country. I will continue to be happy. I will continue to be joyful. I will continue to be the greatest. I will continue to be grateful. I will continue to do everything that I was doing in his first. I will continue to do everything that I did in his first term. I will continue to do, because I don't give a care if it's Donald Trump. I I don't give a care if it's Donald Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris, Vice President J.D. Vance, Vice President Mike Pence, or Vice President Dan Montwell, or Vice President Dick Cheney. I will still be joyful. I will still be joyful, and I will still be happy, and I will still be grateful. I will still be grateful, and I will continue to do what I did in his first term. I will continue to do what I did in Trump's, and then Biden's, and then Obama's first term as president. I will continue to fight for the American people. Because yes, Donald Trump might be the president of the. I said to my father this. Yes, Donald Trump might be the president-elect of the United States tonight, but guess what? We have. We. I say yes. Donald Trump might be the president-elect of the United States of America tonight. But let me tell you something. I said, yes, you might. I said to my dad, I said to my dad this. I said, yes, you might be angry. I said, yes, you might be angry and you might be upset. But guess what? I said, yes, you might be angry that Donald Trump is the president-elect of the United States tonight. And yes, you might be angry and upset that he is the president-elect of the United States tonight. But guess what? But joy. I said, but joy. Joy cometh. But joy cometh in the morning time. I said, he might be. I told my dad this. Yes, he might be the president of the United States tonight. And yes, you might be angry that he is in that office again. Because I said, yes, you might be angry that he is in that office again. But guess what? I am too. I am angry and I am upset that he is in that office again. But I said, but joy. But I said, but joy cometh. But joy cometh in the morning time. I don't give a care whether if Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, or Vice President Kamala Harris, or Vice President Dan Quayle, or Vice President Walter Mondale, or Vice President Al Gore, or Vice President Al Gore, or Vice President Al Gore, or Vice President Dick Cheney, or Vice President Joe Biden, who is President Biden now, who is President Biden now, or Senator John McCain became president. I said I would still be happy. I would have still be happy. I would have still fought for the American people. I would have still be a joyful person. I would still be a grateful person. I said he might can't take me. I said he might have the power over this country and over everybody in this country. But guess what? One thing that I got. I said one thing that I have is joy. One thing I have is joy. If I said yes, he might have power over the whole entire country. But guess what? One thing that I have is joy. One thing that I have is joy. And one thing I have is gratefulness. And one thing I have is excitement. Excitement. One thing that I have is joy, gratefulness, and happiness. Let me tell you something. He might can take my health. He might can take my health care away. He might can take my social security away. But one thing he can't take away is my joy. Is my joy and my gratefulness and my happiness. The world gave me my joy. The world gave me my gratefulness. The world did not give me my joy. The world did not give me my gratefulness, and the world did not give me my happiness. He did not give me my joy. He did not give me my gratefulness. He did not give me my happiness. He and the world can't take my happiness. They can take everything else from me, but one thing that they can't take away is my joy. Is my joy and my gratefulness. And my gratefulness and my happiness. And he can't take it. And the world can't take it away. Because there's only one person that gave me my joy. There's only one person that gave me my gratefulness. And there's one person that gave me my happiness that can take it away. And that is God. And the last time I checked, Donald Trump is not the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because every time I read my Bible, there's no mention of the name Trump. There's no mention. Every time I read my Bible, I don't care. I don't know about y'all, but every time I read my Bible, there's no mention about. There's no mention of the name Trump. Trumpty Dumpty sat on a great wall. Trumpty Dumpty had a great fall. One person gave me my joy. One person gave me my gratefulness. And one person gave me my happiness. And that same person that gave me all that can take it away. And that's God. There's no mention, because every time I read my Bible, because I read my Bible every day. Because every time I read my Bible, and I read my Bible every day, because I have to read my Bible to get through. Because every time I read my Bible, and I read my Bible every day, because I have to read my Bible to get through this second term. Because every time I read my Bible, because I have to read my Bible every day to get through the second time that Donald Trump is president of the United States. I have to read my Bible every day, because to get through the second and last time that he is president. There is no mention of the name Trump in my Bible that tells me. There's nowhere in my Bible that tells me that I have to obey. There's nowhere in my Bible that tells me that I have to obey Donald Trump. And I don't have to obey Donald Trump, because my Bible don't say that. My Bible say I only have to obey God. My Bible say I only have to obey God and nobody else. Everybody else I can disobey, but as long as I obey God, I am all right. As long as I obey God, I am all right. Everybody else I can disobey, because as long as I obey God and nobody else, I am okay. I am all right. Joy cometh in the morning. Weep. He said, weep in the nighttime, but like the sun, joy cometh in the morning. He said, weep in the night, but like the sun rise in the morning time, joy cometh in the morning. Right. But joy cometh in the morning light. That's what the Bible actually says. It doesn't say obey Donald Trump. It says obey God and weep for a night, but in the morning, but like the sun, joy cometh in the morning light. So I'm going to continue to obey God and disobey. So I'm going to continue to obey God and disobey the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Thank you.